Welcome to A Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm Betsy Sodaro.
And I'm Marcy Jarrow. This is a podcast where comedians tell us their paranormal experiences, and we listen to yours as well.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of these paranormal experiences that you want to share with us, please email it to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Now get cozy.
And prepare yourself to be scared silly.
This is a Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm truly excited for our guest today. I worked with this guest everyone could see him on video, but I worked with him for the past 2 seasons on a show that has not yet premiered. We're going to get the premiere date, I think, so soon.
I'm so excited for that show, dude.
But it's so funny because I have known he's had stories for us, and I was like, you cannot tell me.
Fun.
Yeah.
How torturous for me and for him. But I was like, no, I want to hear it on the podcast. But I almost felt rude for it. So I don't want to delay too much. This, like I said, one of my favorite coworkers ever. He's a TV writer, a cartoonist. You welcome John T. Reynolds.
Yes. Not to be confused with the other 35 John Reynoldses in this business.
There really are.
There's a lot of John Reynolds.
There's so many. It's crazy.
Now, this could be an HR issue, but sometimes we would just call you daddy at work.
Yeah, but that didn't last long because it was so disturbing.
Well, I feel like it came back season 2, though. Like, daddy came back.
Yeah, it did. It came back a little bit more in season 2, but most of the time I was called Reynolds, and only one writer had a problem with that because she didn't like saying last names.
Oh,
funny!
It was me.
Do you know who? Yeah, it was Marcy, and
I could imagine who it is, but it's just it would just be a swing and a guess. But we've known each other for about 20 years. I think not well, but we've been in the orbit of each other for about 20 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UCB New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. And then I didn't meet Betsy until I moved to LA in 2006, 7.
Yeah.
And then that's because were you there already, Betsy?
I moved here in 2008.
Yeah, so then I was there just before you got there, and then I met you. Yeah.
I remember seeing you perform and being like, "Wow, he's funny."
Yeah, I
you
thought
were
the
cool
same
and
thing
funny.
about you two, both
You
of you.
were writing on Craig Ferguson at the time.
That's
back
right.
then?
Yeah, that was my
Cool.
longest comedy writing job ever. I was on that show for 6 years. Can you imagine having a comedy writing job for 6 years?
I mean,
on anything now?
It's
No.
crazy if you can get 3 seasons, which is a standard contract. But it's crazy if you can fulfill a contract.
I know.
Yeah.
It's that's the real spooky thing.
Yeah, that's
The industry,
Speaking of
baby.
spooky.
yeah.
And
We could get really scary in this episode and not even talk about ghosts. Just the industry going down.
it's going up.
We're doing all right.
The other day I couldn't park. I was going to my gym and I couldn't find parking, and they kept like shooing me off because they were filming Matlock. Your friend,
Hey,
Betsy. It was your friend.
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy.
Was she
Bates.
shooing your car away? She was the one.
She kicked it. Kicked
Or
it right on
Kathy,
the
get out of
hood.
here.
She did a drop kick. It was psycho of her. But we're coming back, baby. So yeah, our show will have a premiere date soon. Great cast, great everyone. And you also voice direct, but you do your own cartoons outside of just our animated show.
I do.
Yes.
I do a webcomic. It's called A Fistful of Babies. It's pretty much my only internet presence, and I barely show up there, and it's on Instagram. But I've always drawn cartoons since I was a little kid, and I love it.
And I'm not kidding. I think I had truly one of my favorite coworkers just because John's he's a fun time. But
Right back at you.
let's not be fun. Let's be scary. And we're going to start by asking you the question that we ask everyone, which is what, if anything, do you believe about the paranormal?
Well, first of all, you know, I don't know how you guys can sleep at night doing this show because it's terrifying. The pieces I've heard were I love horror. I love it. So I was
Yes.
like so excited when you guys asked me to be on. But then like listening to so much of it back to back, oh my God, I don't think I could do this. And I wouldn't go to bed.
We're sickos. We're freaks.
Yeah, you guys are clearly gluttons for terror.
I mean,
but yeah, my feeling with the paranormal is that I was raised Catholic. So
Yep.
my feeling is I always wanted to not believe in ghosts. But because I was raised Catholic and all the stuff I remember as a kid was Jesus constantly appearing to people by their side after he died. It's like the ultimate ghost story is the Jesus stuff.
Yes.
And I used to pray every night. And in my prayers, which were because I was Catholic, all of us, I had two brothers, we all had to get down and kneel and pray and the whole
Same
thing. I'm lapsed now. I don't really follow it. But part of my prayer was always, and Jesus, take care of mommy, take care of daddy, all that. And then I always added, and Jesus, please don't appear before me. It's okay. I know you're real. I'm not a doubting Thomas. Don't scare the shit out of me in the middle of the night by appearing by my side. That's throughout the New Testament. It's terrifying.
That is so funny. Not scared of the devil, just not Jesus. No. Don't you dare come near me.
That's a good point.
Just little footprints in the rug next to my bed is all. That's all we need, Jesus.
Oh, that would be even creepier, Marcy.
That would be terrifying.
Good Lord. Woo. So that's how I feel. I feel like I never wanted to believe it, but I think I do believe it. And I had two experiences. One has been debunked, and then the one has not was what I was about to tell you last year.
And I wouldn't let
and
him.
You said quiet.
Shut up.
Save it.
I'm sick of you talking in general, but
That's right. That's right. Let me remind you, just 5 minutes ago, you said I was your favorite coworker.
Yeah, and that's how it is, guys.
Yeah. So, that's more of an indication of Marcy's personality than mine.
Yes.
Oh, they know me. They've heard.
No, they know you well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, do you want to jump in to
I could
tell us?
I could jump in.
Let's do it.
When the first one was when I was 5, it wasn't Jesus. Because I don't think I got all that Jesus scary stuff until I was 7 or 8. When I was 5, I shared a bedroom with my brother, and we were in bunk beds.
Ooh.
And one of my grandmothers, my Nana, was a painter, and she painted a portrait of a clown, like a sad clown, and it hung on the wall right directly across from my bed. So that's what I would see when I would go to sleep at night.
Oh my God.
And one night I went to sleep and I looked at it, and it was the kind of dark in the room that's like movie dark where you could still see everything in the room. So there must have been moonlight or something coming in, or a hallway light or something. And I started to see the clown move its head. This is before Poltergeist came out or any of that.
Right.
This is before it was in fashion to be terrified of clowns, because I'm old. I'm so old that when I was young, clowns were actually a good thing and fun.
Yeah, this is before it.
Yes, this is before it. Correct. And so this clown, and I'm 5, so this is like one of my first memories. It's moving, and then it starts to wink at me. And then it's trying to mouth something like it's talking to me. And the whole time I'm going, this can't be happening. And then I ran in to my parents. I couldn't take it because it was so terrifying. And then my mother, they woke them up. And then my mother was like, what are you talking about? And I was explaining it to her. And then she said, walk over there. And I went, why? And she goes, walk over there. And I walked a little and I stumbled a little. And she said, Timmy, he's drunk. My father's name was Timmy. Timmy, he's drunk. And what had happened was I was at a Christmas party at my Uncle Richard's that night. And he had given me by accident the rum eggnog instead of the eggnog. And so I was basically doing a Pink Elephants on Parade kind of hallucination from being a drunk 5-year-old.
God.
But I thought it was a ghost and a spirit. So that's the one that's been debunked.
Oh.
But it looked like it had come to life and that I was seeing ghosts.
I've been drunk a time or two, never at 5, but
yeah, that's got to be a whole different experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I want to say I'm undebunking it just in case it was that that a demon got into your family.
I mean,
for
the booze lifted the veil off of you, you know?
Yes. My third eye was cleared by the booze.
Yes.
And I could see the paranormal world for what it was.
Why did your mom know you were drunk so she just was on it? She knew drunk.
This particular uncle was insane. And so everyone was always usually cautious around him. And she was probably worried that this was going to happen anyway. And so it wasn't that crazy for her to make that leap, because it was like out of a bad sitcom move. It was like, here's the regular eggnog for the kids, and here's the eggnog for the adults, and they look exactly the same, and they're right next to each other in the same exact punch bowls. And it was like, of course he was gonna F that up, you know?
Right. I remember years ago, I was like 4 or 5. My family threw a Halloween party, and they had just like a sitcom, like the adult punch right next to the kid punch. And I remember one of our neighbors, who was a couple years older than me, got drunk, and she was dressed as a skunk. And I remember her like laying on the stairs, just all drunk as a skunk, and being like, whoa, what happened?
Drunk as a
Oh,
skunk.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
God,
is that when you first learned what that meant?
I guess so, yeah. Like, drunk as a skunk, all right.
Did you not realize it was like a saying for...
I didn't realize until later of like,
You're like, everyone knows about that party. How does everyone know about that party?
How does everybody know?
That's so funny. And it was winking. Ugh.
Yeah, it was so creepy. I can't tell you how real it looked. You know, obviously I still remember it. I mean, all these years later, it still freaks me out. We had to hide that painting, and we still have that painting. One of my other brothers has it, because most of the paintings throughout my house growing up were by my Nana. And that one got moved immediately because I couldn't deal with it for weeks after that. I was like, it's just now freaking me out. So when the whole like clowns are scary thing came along, I was like, way ahead of you.
Yeah, I know that, brother.
Yeah.
Nobody knows better than me. I think that was such a formative experience for you. A sad clown scaring you, and then you get into comedy.
Yeah. I didn't realize this was going to be a therapy podcast.
Honey, I'm psychologically tearing everyone up all the time. Okay, so that's the debunked one.
Yes. Now, you ready for the real one?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I still think I kind of think there was a demon in your house, but whatever.
The real one has, I'll just prep you by saying, the bulk of the story is me prepping you for the moment.
Great.
Okay.
That's like all horror films, right?
That's what I was thinking too when I was thinking about it again, knowing that I was going to tell you guys. I was like curious, like because even with some of the stories I've heard from previous episodes that you guys have done, the scary part is the smallest part.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tiniest part. So there tends to be a lot of like lead up to it and everything, because if it's more than a tiny moment, then I don't think you'd be talking to anyone. You'd probably be in a mental asylum.
Right. I
You know,
mean,
because that means you're like trapped in a horror house or something, and you know.
right. Like it's even The Exorcist that's kind of based on a real story. Like the real story is kind of a way more benign than that.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's like only one or two really bad instances in that,
I mean,
in the original story, I think.
for as scared as we are about demons, it seems like they're only like shaking doors, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marcy, that's bold to say that. That's too
I want to
bold.
believe that's all it is.
I would
And
love for that. That's bold. Look out, Marcy. They're
And
gonna be like, yo, really? Really?
teaching people Latin, yes. Oh, I'm not saying they don't take your soul for eternity. I get that, but for what we see, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, but once they take your soul, that you can't tell anybody about it, so no one's hearing that part. They just hear the rattling of the door part.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a personal problem.
Yes, it is. Okay, so all right. So how does this start? So I was in high school. I hung out with the same 4 friends that I'd known since kindergarten. Still know them, and
Yeah.
still hang out from time to time. Not as much as we would like, because we're all over the world. But yeah, we were close. We all loved horror. We loved comedy and horror. And one day, once upon a time, one night actually, one of my brothers and I stumbled upon this documentary about the paranormal. And in it, it was incredible. We were just glued to it. And in it, there was a moment where the narrator said, there's a paranormal science where you can put a tape recorder on a grave. Have you heard this? Hit record and wait, let it go through the whole tape. And then if you play the tape back, whoever's in the grave will talk to you.
No.
I couldn't get this out of my head for obvious reasons. So I bring this to my friends. Now, the other component of this that helped this story along was one of my buddies whose house we would hang out with in a lot was right up against a graveyard,
Yes.
a really big graveyard in our town.
And what area of the country is this?
This is Westchester, New York, just
Okay.
north of Manhattan. That's where I was.
Yeah.
I was born and raised a little bit in the Bronx, but then my mother got her dream and she moved across the river to a town called Pelham in southern Westchester County.
Great.
So that's where this took place. So, and my friend's house was right up against the graveyard. So we decided, we'll get a tape recorder. We'll go in there and we'll put it on a grave, and then we'll go back to his house and watch movies, because that's what we would do. We'd get together and watch movies, and make movies and stuff with our
Yes.
VHS recorder.
Yes. Oh
all
yeah.
that- and all that.
Huge.
Yes. So,
Huge.
and they were like, yeah, like this.
They're so big.
It was like carrying a bus on your shoulder. Yeah. And then when an hour or so goes by, we'll go back and we'll get it. And so the routine would be, because we heard nothing for weeks, we would do that. We'd go back to the house, fuck around, then go get the recorder, come back again, and then put in a movie. And we'd each take turns every Friday night or Saturday night, whatever it was, where one of us, it was our turn to listen to the recording while we were watching the movie. So that person had to sit in the back of the family room so that they could kind of hear stuff.
With like headphones on, or?
Yes, and they'd have one headphone off, off their ear so they could watch the movie.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by the delegation, the organization.
Believe me, if this had been a school project, we all would have went to Harvard.
Did you put it on the same grave every time?
No. Great question.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So we what I loved about it too, that's actually a good point, because that was a bone of contention with us, but we all agreed it can't be that this doesn't work. It's got to be that whoever the dead person was that we used, they're lame.
Was it?
Yeah.
And they're not playing along.
Yep.
Or they, that dead person sucks, not the fact that this thing probably isn't real.
Yeah.
So we would go to different graves pretty much every weekend. We might have done one or two twice.
Yeah.
Because what would happen a lot was you'd be watching a movie and you're either having fun or it's a scary movie and we're scared. And then whoever the guy was in the back whose turn it was would go, stop the movie, stop the movie. And then we go, oh shit. And then he'd rewind a little bit and he'd play it and we go, no, man, that's just wind or that's just a stick or, whatever. And we go, yeah, and then we make fun of him and then we go back to watch the movie. So that was the routine for weeks and weeks, but we didn't let it go. We were determined.
Yes.
Then, one Friday or Saturday night, we chose a child's grave. And we did our routine. And it was my buddy Bobby's turn. Shout out to him. He's now Science Bob. He does a lot of stuff on Jimmy Kimmel. He's like the new Mr. Wizard.
Oh.
He's an awesome dude.
That's awesome.
It was his turn, and he was on the headphones, and he goes, stop the movie. So we stopped the movie. Oh, what is it this time? Fucking air, fucking what a wind. And then he rewinds it, he plays it, and of course, that's wind. He's like, shh, not yet, shut up. And then, not very faintly, you hear, Mommy.
Oh,
I got chills.
Help me.
No. Oh, God, I got chills.
Now, we shit ourselves. And we were we were so scared that we kept playing it again and again, hoping to be able to go, that's a cat.
That's weird. Yeah.
Because at first we were like, that's a cat. Because the mommy was like, and it was like hot, it was high. So it was like, but then when it got to the help me, and I remember my buddy Greg was like, that's a P. That is a P. in help me.
Yep.
popping.
He was but we were dead serious. We weren't, we always, you're 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
Joking around the whole time. We were starting, and we've talked about it so many times since then. One of the things that we remember that we couldn't articulate back then was there was a level of fear that we were feeling that was just from, that's definitely something.
Yeah.
But there was another level of fear on top of that. That was the one that really got us, which is we had never seen each other this seriously scared before.
Yeah.
And it was scaring us. Like each one of us was getting more scared because these guys we grew up with since we knew each other since first grade. And two of us knew each other since kindergarten. We had always joked. I mean, even now we never talk about real shit,
Yeah.
We're deep into middle age and it's kind of sad. And that we're still talking about movies and stuff like we're kids. That was the most real we had gotten with it. And we all had alcoholic parents and shit and never talked about that. We never talked
Holy
about
shit.
anything real.
Yeah.
This was this was the realest thing, and it really scared us. And then we didn't even have to say it, but it was obvious.
Yeah.
We never did it again.
You never did it again.
Whereas
yeah.
normally our mindset would have been we're going to keep doing something like that, and we were so intent on getting something, and then when we did, we freaked each other out.
Yeah. And that's such a sign of a spirit or you hit the other side where you're like, we have never freaked out. Like I've never felt this way before.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was, what's weird about it is that we're not in the graveyard at that, we could walk through that graveyard like we were walking through our kitchens.
Right.
It was like, we didn't care. I mean, it was spooky and we liked getting off on the spookiness of being in a graveyard.
Yeah.
But we were getting this pretty much after the fact because obviously we're listening to it later. And just as a capper, and I sometimes forget this, but I wrote it down to remind me, as a capper to this, it just turns out that we found out like a year or two later that during this period, Satanism was on the rise again,
Mm-hmm.
Of
especially in the
course.
New York tri-state area.
Yep.
Right.
And that graveyard had several incidents of having graves robbed during the period that we were doing this. So there were adults in that graveyard, maybe not the same nights that we were there, but on nights when we were doing this, that were digging up graves because they were using human skulls to drink goat's blood out of. And they were
Really?
caught.
And this
Whoa.
is not like urban legend stuff.
No, this is like this. You could find this in the news of Westchester County this would have been the 80s.
What?
So yeah, it's like, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. And so like that was going on, but that's another thing we were completely oblivious of,
Okay.
Yeah.
I have.
So yeah, and just like, and I don't even tell the story that much anymore because it just takes me back to, both those levels of fear. And like I said, it was when you see your friends change,
Yeah.
and especially at that age when you're not used to you don't have much experience with anything because you're so young, it really leaves a mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few statements or questions. I don't even know what they are.
Uh-oh.
Number one is there's a kid, a child, right? Asking for help when we say we're never going back. So that was my first like, huh.
Yeah.
No judgment. But with the addition of, again, adult Satanists feels crazy. Adult Satanists,
Yes.
I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. Like,
Yes.
Church of Satan, yes, because it's not really about satanic worship, but adults
Right.
digging up
Yeah.
graves. I think of like a woman being like, no, it's over here.
That skull's not big enough for our goat's
No.
blood. That skull's not big enough.
Oh, I said, look them up and make sure there's no car accidents. They're going to have cracks and it's going to leak. But I think putting those things together, I immediately thought like, you didn't hear a real kid. You heard something else that was maybe the energy of people fucking around with stuff,
Yeah.
or that they conjured something that was like pretending to be a little kid to maybe lure you,
Ew.
especially if they had seen young guys in the graveyard time and time again.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking horrifying.
Ew.
I thought you were going to say maybe it was just one of the Satanists' children that they told them, go play around, go play somewhere else while we dig up this grave.
Mommy and Daddy have some stuff to do.
Yeah. And it was an actual kid.
Oh.
But that's even fucking more horrifying because that theory is, they've been seeing us come in every week.
Mhm.
They figured out what we're doing, and now they're going to use it to get us to keep coming back, or maybe sit there while the thing's recording, and then we would be there long enough for them to drink goat's blood out of our brains.
That's actually scaring me because that's not what I meant. What I meant was that they conjured up some sort of demonic spirit, and the demonic spirit was trying to lure you there. But what you're saying, as you're saying it, chills ran down my spine, front and back of my spine, felt it internally, externally. And now that you said that, I'm way more afraid of that version.
Well, let's just say, now I love this demon version, which I guess I didn't get when you first said it. I think we have at least 2, possibly 3 pitches for 3 different horror movies.
Absolutely.
Out of this already.
And maybe it's like we see every version of it, a la Clue.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's great.
I hate that though. The version that it was a trick to lure you. But I really hate the version where it's a trapped child soul. I actually maybe I'm rejecting that
No, that's why I don't want to.
to.
That's exactly right. That's why I don't want to believe in ghosts, because I don't want to believe that's real. Like, I remember when I went through a period, when I was very young, and I was like, what if magic was real? And I was like terrified that magic could be real. and the only thing that terrified me about it was that some people can have it and some people don't. And
Oh,
that's
yep.
unfair. And what do you do with that knowledge? Like,
Yep.
that's not cool that I can't have magical powers, but you can. It's the same thing with ghosts. It's like, I don't want that to be real because I'm sure there's great ghost stories. I know there are, like where I got to see my dead mother and I hadn't seen her. And she gave me the parting words she was never able to do in life
Yeah.
because
Right.
she visited me in death, like those kinds of stories. But for every one of those stories, there's 25 Amityville horror stories, and it's
Yep.
like, it's not worth it. So I don't want to believe that any of this is real. And specific to your point, I don't want to believe, and I love that you brought up that we didn't come back to help her, which I didn't even think of. Now I got
I
something else
wouldn't
to beat
have.
myself up with for the rest of my
That,
life, Marcy.
that's why I don't think that's what it was. Because, well, one, I want to go back to you saying you don't like the idea of people not everyone being able to possess magic. And I was like, he must hate the Olympics. Watching people be able to do sports that
Just
Yeah,
remarkable things.
Why can't I
I
do
do hate the
that?
Olympics, but for different reasons.
Um,
I just hate other countries. I'm xenophobic.
oh yeah. Big mega.
Gosh,
No.
I'll show you my ice jacket later.
Oh no.
No.
Now the podcast gets even scarier.
There are people who
Oh,
might be
no,
like,
Ian.
well, we were accidentally accident to us, like on it. We didn't know that there were ice ads running a few months ago during our podcast because it wasn't through
Oh.
us. It was just like on Spotify, which is fucking crazy. That's not us, guys. We didn't do that shit.
No way.
Oh wow, yeah.
Fuck them, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact.
Yes.
As a matter of fact.
But I don't like to believe that there was a child stuck screaming, "Help me!" Especially unless we don't know any. I assume you don't know the any of the backstory of the
I
child.
don't remember. None of us remember the name.
Yeah.
That's something that also kind of scares me because my memory's always been terrible, but not some of my buddies. And so the fact that especially my buddy Dan, who's a very smart dude, and mind like a steel trap, memory like a steel trap, he doesn't remember the name. I'm probably, when I see him again, I'll ask him again. Maybe it comes back up. But I feel like that's us literally blocking it out emotionally.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
we just couldn't deal with it because it was so, it's ridiculous to say this against real trauma, but it did feel traumatic. It did feel like it was a traumatic experience.
Yeah, like being young, like not young kids, but being kids, and then a child in a grave begging for help for its mommy to help it.
Oh.
That's horrifying. That's why
And
my instinct is no.
Yeah.
no. And like you said, of just seeing your friends so scared, that's a really intense thing to see, and not a lot of you don't see that off. Like you saying this, I'm like, oh, I can't imagine what I would have done in high school if I saw my good friends truly, truly scared.
Yeah. And you take your cues from that too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's true about babies, right? Like, what the whole thing with if a baby falls down, but you can see that the baby's not really hurt.
Yep.
You're supposed to, as the adult, you're supposed to keep a happy face.
Yep.
And then the baby will be like, "Oh, I guess I'm not hurt.
I'm all right."
Yeah." But that's primal, and that continues throughout our lives. Like, we're social creatures, so we're always going
Yep.
off of how did that person react to this? Even in Hollywood, which is the great old joke, one agent says to the other, "What did you think of that new script?" And the other agent says, "I don't know. No one else has read it yet."
Yeah.
They're waiting to be told how to think and feel about stuff. And it's like,
Yep.
I think when you're in those nascent ages, which is pretty much 0 to 24 in my case,
Yeah.
you're like still developing, and guys don't get their full frontal lobe until 23, 24 years old. So you're constantly like we're idiots and we're behind the curve especially compared to women with that. So I think the tragedy. Let's make this a manosphere portion of the podcast. I think
That's
the
why I
tragedy
invited
of
you
men.
on. I knew what I was doing.
I think the tragedy of men is that their brains are slower to develop, and they receive all this trauma that they're never able to deal with, that they're never
Yeah.
equipped to deal with. Most of the time, they're not treated in a way that would help them deal with it. So they become. Not all of them, obviously, because I'm pretty awesome, but they become they can become lunkheads because they're not dealing with stuff like hearing a
Right.
fucking 5-year-old call for mommy for help
Yeah.
from the grave. How do you
Yep.
process that? I mean, we didn't even tell our parents, obviously. I
Oh.
mean, we weren't going to tell them we're
Oh.
breaking into graveyards and stuff.
Hey,
So
We've
we
been
didn't
doing
share
it
that
for
with-
months.
Catholic parents, you know how the
Yeah.
newspaper's been talking about Satanists? Not us. We're
Yeah.
not Satanists. We're just necromancing. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, and a detail to fit that. Necromancing is such a great word, and it made me think. One of the graves before we stopped doing it because of the little girl was an open grave. Somebody had been buried, but it had rained, so they couldn't fill it in. So that night now this is where I go straight to hell. Speaking of Catholicism and all of it, we got a string, and we lowered the tape recorder down into the 6-foot grave and rested it on top of the coffin. And we were so happy because, I mean, this is how demented we were. We were so happy because we were like, this is going to work because whoever's in there
this
just
has
died.
to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And it didn't work.
Whoa.
But that
Also-
was scary. That part was scary for sure. Like
You're-
lowering that in and everything. But you talk
You're-
about ghouls.
Lucky you didn't get your recorder stolen by those Satanists. Stealing.
Even the Satanists were like, "Oh, that's too fucked up for us."
We because they're not. They're
Those
probably
kids are
not
freaks, dude.
Oh yeah, because if they're looking for skulls, they're
I'm
looking
out.
for old. Yeah, they don't want to do the work themselves of like skinning a skull.
Yeah, no. They're Satanists across the board are lazy. They're not going to be getting a vat of acid and all the steps you would need for that.
No.
We're really challenging a lot of dark forces today.
I'm freaking out, man.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys a question because of your experience and all the people you get to listen to. And you just reminded me of it by what you said in terms of summoning the dark forces. I used to suffer from night terrors, and I know you guys have experience with that, or at least have heard about that from other people. Have you gotten an interesting theory about what those are from anybody? Like is it just a different type of just a different way to dream that makes it?
When you say night terror, what do you mean exactly?
I
Like when
mean
people
I
fight?
mean the type of dreaming where you open your eye, you've gone to sleep, you open your eyes, you're in bed, and everything you're looking around, and everything around you is your bedroom. So you're like, well, I can't be dreaming. And then you realize you can't move. So it's like it's sleep paralysis, I think is the other term they use for it. And then in the ones that I haven't had one in a long time, but I can start to hear someone breathing near me, and then I can see somebody approaching from like my peripheral. And then I try to scream and I can't, and I keep forcing myself, and then I wake up, and then you're like, holy shit, this was a dream.
So
And they're terrifying.
You're asking us, how do I, Marcy and Betsy, tell me that that's not real
Tell me
evil
I'm all right.
spirits.
Yeah,
Tell me
I'm
I'm
okay.
Well,
you must have had people that have those.
Oh, yes.
Tons.
Betsy, go. Yeah.
Tons. And sometimes it is like, we hear tons of those stories of sleep paralysis and stuff. And sometimes, though, they get so specific where it's like, that feels like it's something more than just your brain waking up faster than your body or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like that is so specific. It
Yes.
feels like it's something from the other side or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then there's, the other factors in it, which I think could go either way. The factors of it, usually they happen when people are sleep deprived, and that's probably because of some sort of outside stress in their life, right? Like people
Right.
aren't usually like happy as a clam and then not being able to sleep. I mean, it can
Right.
happen, but I think it's usually like
No, that
something
makes
else going on.
sense. That
And
makes
so that could
sense.
just be a disruption in like your ability to process. Like, if you don't get great sleep, it's harder to do good work, much less everything else that your brain has to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I do think that you could be more susceptible to influences when you're stressed. I mean, you think about
Yeah.
even people using substances. That's an outside thing that all of a sudden can take a hold in a different way. And I think the
Right.
same could be said for possible uh paranormal forces. I say force, but I just mean that like something, whether
Yeah.
it's like I want to mess with this person or I want to see them, and your kind of guard is down so that you're able
Yes.
to. So I guess either or combo, I guess.
Yeah. Because that's again, I don't want to believe the latter
Of
part of
course.
what you said and what Betsy said.
Of
I want to believe
course.
it's your brain playing tricks on you. But it does have that feel that it could be there's basically what you said, like whatever that stage of sleep is has you at your most vulnerable, where
Mhm.
Yep.
you can actually welcome against your will other forces into the realm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
It's so scary.
I mean,
It's so scary.
to even reframe it, it's like if you don't have your doors locked and someone's casing the neighborhood,
Yeah.
you've become an easy target. That doesn't mean that every time you have a door unlocked, someone's breaking in. But
Yeah.
if someone's looking for an opportunity and you've created it, you have one less barrier than your neighbor, then all of a sudden that's whose house they're going into.
Yes.
And so, like I said, I don't think it's going to always happen, but I I grew up in the South in a small town, and we weren't people who locked doors and they left the keys in the car. Like that's how I grew up.
Wow.
And it's like,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
grown up who's lived in a few big cities now, it's like, that's crazy because even in a small town, bad things can happen. Maybe not every day, but if it's one time in a decade and you've made
Yes.
yourself easy, like
Yeah.
that's really scary, And I think,
That's so scary.
but
So
I think,
So
the
scary.
lesson is psychically lock your door mind every night before going to
Yes.
sleep.
Yep, exactly. Do that. You'll be fine.
I would say, like, the normal stuff that you would do anyway to try to take care of yourself,
Yeah.
get your sleep,
Yeah.
rest up.
Stress is the metaphor for unlocking the door.
I think
Right,
stress, I
yeah.
think
Take care of yourself.
mental health and stuff like that. But, it doesn't mean it's anyone's fault. It's just like when there's an opportunity, sometimes that's when the thing. It's so funny. You know how like right now everyone's doing the 2016
Yeah,
thing where they're posting.
Makes me hate social media even more when I see
I
shit like that. I know I sound like a grandpa on his porch, but Jesus Christ, really?
I mean,
All right.
I
Trump
heard
was still president. Why are we even bothering?
we don't want to go
further.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Anyway,
I guess because it's 10 years ago, that's the only thing. But also, like, someone had a theory that like AI is trying to see how faces change over time, so
Oh
that it can steal your
no.
identity. So,
oh, it's genius.
but
Oh.
as I was looking up I was like, what happened in 2016? I was even looking at, I was like, there's so many pictures of when I was robbed, and that like I had they pressed a gun into my neck, and so like they that was my memories, like I have a bruise from a gun barrel on my neck, and I was like, should I post
Jesus
this?
Christ.
Because 2016 was a very bad.
Oh my God, Bart.
Uh,
So
it, dude. Post it.
Like a little, it's just like, it's not a dark bruise, but it's a little red, like where they kind of just, it like broke some capillaries from the.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God.
But
horrifying.
I guess all that to say is that like I wasn't doing anything wrong when I got robbed, but I was walking to my car for a full block and a half, and I was looking at my phone, and they were driving around and they stopped their car in front of me and they took the opportunity.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. Why would I start telling that story? Something about, I don't remember, guys.
Well, what I was thinking of when you were saying, like, if you leave your doors unlocked, you're welcoming somebody who's looking. Did you guys see Weapons?
Yes.
You remember that scene where the drug addict is going car to car, just trying the doors?
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the specific of that, but yeah, that's immediately where my brain went when you.
Yeah, and where it is like they're just hoping something will open and they'll dig around, like they'll,
That's what Richard Ramirez was doing.
That's what Ramirez was doing, exactly. The Night Stalker. Yes.
Ugh.
And that's what demons are doing at night. They're going from brain to brain, psyche to psyche, seeing which ones are unlocked by stress, so that they can go in there. And God knows what. Because the guy never got to me in my peripheral. Still hasn't gotten to me.
God.
He gets closer.
Isn't that so weird? And it's just, and if it is not paranormal and it is the brain, it's like, what's that about?
Yeah.
Brain, why are you doing that?
Why are you doing this to me, brain?
Brain, come on. We got to work together. We can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The brain does a lot of paranormal stuff.
Why does it do the same thing to so many people if it's just our brain?
That's the thing.
Right. We only use 10%, they say.
Yeah.
So maybe it's 90% of it is just hates us.
Also,
and is constantly attacking us in weird ways that we can't comprehend because we only use 10%.
Yeah.
So it seems like ghosts and demons.
Yeah.
But it is our brains. I would totally buy that.
Why are our brains not using the other 90%?
I don't know.
I blame Republicans.
Republicans?
I blame the Republicans.
The Republicans.
I'm going to say the 90% is just shy, and when they're doing brain scans, it just is like, shh. It goes dark.
Stop,
and it's like,
stop.
Shut up.
I'm shy. Shut up.
We're so wrinkly over here.
This
part of the brain's so wrinkly.
It's just
so like I just won't bath.
That part of the brain feels fat. It's too gelatinous.
It is so weird.
It is.
In growing up in that area, were there any other because that's ripe for urban legends and the scary witch hill, wherever
Yeah. Sleepy Hollow is near there.
Cool.
Yeah, great place. No, it was pretty boring. It was very boring. 80s into the 90s, boring. No, we like I said, we were obsessed with horror, as I still am.
Yeah.
But it was, we would have killed for a ghost sighting or anything like that. And then, of course, the one time that it happens, we kept our love for horror up, but we just never tried to do that stuff again. But there was never really any, Son of Sam was when I was super little.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand what was going on, but that was in that area.
Wow.
Yep.
Because I think he was in the Bronx, and then I think he had a place in the Bronx or knew someone in the Bronx, but but he lived in Yonkers, which was above us, north of where we were. And he was supposedly involved with, but this is long before when I was doing this stuff. But he was supposedly involved with Satanists. And they claim that the whole Son of Sam thing was, one theory was that it wasn't just him. It was this group that he was with.
Whoa.
And they were all Satanists. And it was part of we need innocent blood to appease the great Beelzebub or whatever it was.
no.
A few years ago, I would have been like, that sounds crazy. And now I'm like, I guess there are cabals. and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
and we
Yeah.
kind of like we were looking at the wrong area for where they are, but they are around and they're doing creepy, disgusting things. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
fun.
But
That's
as
fun.
far as ghosty stuff, and there were many houses that looked like they could be haunted where I grew
I
up, but
bet.
we never really heard anything
Yeah,
about
we
that.
had the classic, like, if you park on the hill and put your car in neutral, it'll
It'll go up.
an invisible force will, at the
That's
witch hill or whatever.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, well,
but
I would assume from the South you would have a lot of horror stuff,
oh yeah, like
just being in the South.
I mean, a little follow up to last week. I was telling a story about my parents just moved to a
Oh.
rural part of Alabama and they saw this weird creature. And mom was like, it had like longer front legs than it did
Oh,
back
I saw
legs.
that. Heard that chunk.
And
Yeah, horrifying.
and commenters were like saying could be feral hogs out in the area, could be a mangy bear. One person said that intuitively they thought it was a rake, which is sort of like a shapeshifter. And
Oh.
so
Oh.
I told my mom that the one person thought that, and she's like, that's immediately what I thought it was when I saw it, that it was a shapeshifter. Like she didn't have the
Ooh.
term rake or anything,
Right.
but she was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what we thought it was. We thought it was something that, because it immediately disappeared too.
Yeah.
And my mom
Oh,
and dad
God.
both saw it. So
Yeah, that's because now what that makes me think of like all the UFO stuff that's been going on, or
Yeah.
IAPs or whatever they changed it to
Yeah.
for what reason, who knows. Um that that because that stuff is so prevalent and the government is admitting more and more that they
Yep.
don't know what this is, and yes, that is real footage, etc. Then that if those things are real, then there are creatures in those things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if one of them falls out, they could end up in front of your parents
Well,
one night.
also, like
falls out and
before they moved there, I was like, because you think of the Appalachian Trail as more like Kentucky and all those states, I guess up to Pennsylvania, right? Is that
It's big.
or
Yeah.
Appalachian
Yeah,
Mountains
at
at
least
least?
Pennsylvania, yeah.
But I was like, it goes down to Georgia. I mean, it goes down
Yeah.
like through Georgia and Alabama, and they're like, no, it
To
doesn't.
like the top of Florida, right?
But the trail, the
Yeah.
end of the trail is actually not that far away from. I mean, it goes to northern Alabama, but like there are parts that kind of go down to the foothills of the Appalachians. So I was like, got scary, spooky stuff in there.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if jaguars can come back to America, have you heard about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I did.
No, they're
Yeah.
making their way back.
oh, is it Arizona or like?
Whoa.
It's out west for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't remember which state. But yeah, I remember hearing it. Yeah,
Let me
that's
tell you.
Whoa.
crazy.
Actually, maybe one of the scariest big cats.
Oh yeah. Terrifying.
They're really aggressive and they have the strongest bite force of all of
Ooh.
the big cats.
Oh my.
So
I got drunk in Boulder, Colorado with my
Woo.
brothers years ago, and they wanted to go hiking. One of them was living in Boulder at the time. I was like, it's 10 o'clock at night. Come on, we're going. And they drive up there, and they're like, let's go on the trail. And there's a big sign that says, beware of wildcats. And I was like, I'm not going. What are you doing?
Yeah, why
And they
would
were like,
we
come
do
on,
that?
you pussy, let's do it. And I just happened to catch, because I was more afraid of being left alone in the dark. So I was like, I got to follow them. But I saw on the sign that said, beware wildcats, it said, if a wildcat comes, put your arms up really high. So I walked behind them with my arms up like I was in a stick up the entire time until we got back. And thank God nothing happened. But yeah, all big cats like that are terrifying.
They're yeah.
I mean,
Just big animals. They're animals. They're gonna like do whatever they want.
if Wilma decided to kill someone one day just because she was like, I'm sick of all of you,
Marcy,
she's
how dare
huge,
you.
but she's huge. If she wanted to, she's so sweethearted, but she's a big dog.
She's big.
She's
Could
big.
you scare her off with your arms up over your head?
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel that would make her be like, yes, pet my belly. Because also with the big cats, it's like get big, but don't bare your teeth, right? Isn't that a thing of like, don't show your teeth?
I don't-
I feel I
we
remember
shouldn't
learning
show our
that.
teeth? Like the
Yeah.
Well,
person shouldn't show our teeth?
don't turn your.
I think that's with gorillas, and I'm not joking. I think
Oh,
Oh,
I
maybe
think
I'm
you're
like,
not supposed to show teeth to
'Cause-
primates.
yeah,
oh.
because like don't smile at them.
Yes, because a smile for them, I think sometimes is anger.
Oh.
It's like Jack Nicholson to them.
Could you imagine encountering a big cat in the wild and being like,
Run from my ginormous teeth.
Oh my God.
do you have any other stories that you want to tell before we listen to a listener story?
Oh, I want to hear a listener story.
Yes.
I'm definitely storied out, and this was fantastic. I'm so
I
glad I
mean,
got to share this
It's
with
such
you
a,
guys.
your story is so good. Like, it's
Thank
so
you, yeah.
creepy.
Truly
Terrifying.
a lot to unpack with what it could be, too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it puts
Especially-
me off in a really bad light because I'm a ghoul. Now Marcy points
No.
out I don't go back to help the child, which is, I
I-
mean, 400 years later, and that's the first time
No.
I've heard that when I've told that story.
If
It's
you
hilarious.
have a
would
reunion with
not.
your friends, I'd say my takeaway is that your instinct was protecting you from something.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to
Marcy-
go with. Thank you.
Would you have gone back to help this ghost child?
Probably. I'm a fucking
Oh,
idiot.
Marcy.
You know me. I can't
Oh,
stop.
Marcy.
I'm
come
like,
on.
I gotta be
Marcy.
involved. This is about me now.
So Betsy's immediately on my side.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not going near that.
No,
again.
no. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I'm like, well, now this is my responsibility. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
it's not. I can't
that's
say,
funny.
I don't have any effect on the afterlife at
No.
all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I think I'm saying you made the right choice, is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I simply had to point out that you other children were also cowards. I'm kidding. You guys were kids.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to play a listener story right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Cool.
Am I? Yes.
Hello, Betsy and Marcy. Mike here from Los Angeles. First, just want to share I love the podcast. I've actually written in before. A couple years back, you read a story of mine about growing up in Hawaii, and I had a haunted music box that tortures my memory to this very day.
Yes.
Anywho, I wanted to share a story that I just heard from one of my uncles. My grandma just passed away, and we were up there for her funeral. Don't worry, she lived to be in her 90s and died peacefully in her sleep. But we weren't super close, so I didn't know her all that well. So it was great to connect with family and hear different stories about, some of the parts of her life that I didn't know anything about. And one thing that came up was when my uncle was telling stories, and he shared about a time when he was a young man and had just moved down to Malibu and was, a bit of a drinker, a bit of a reckless guy. So, he was taking chances, as young men do. And he swam out into the ocean, really deep out, and there was a terrible rip current. And he couldn't get back in, and he was swimming and swimming, and as try as he could, he was not able to get any closer to shore. As anyone who can tell you about anything with ocean safety, those rip currents will get you. So he was out there getting sucked further and further into the Pacific, thinking he was going to die. And then luckily, a lifeguard spotted him and brought him home, back to shore. So he survived. But the interesting thing was when he got home, he checked his answering machine, because this was the 80s, so everyone had an answering machine. And there was a message from his mom, my grandma, calling and saying, hey, just wanted to check on you, make sure you're doing okay, and, call me back. Beep. Another message from her. Hey, Greg, call me. I just have a feeling. I just want to talk to you, make sure you're okay. Please call me back as soon as you can. Beep. Another message from Grandma. Greg, are you okay? Call me back. I'm worried about you. And so on and so forth. She left message after message, getting more and more panicked, sensing that my Uncle Greg was in danger. So similar to some other stories that have been shared on the podcast before, but just an interesting psychic connection between a mother and one of her children in danger. So, just a funny little thing that I heard up at the funeral while we were, remembering my grandma. I have a few more stories I'll write in about a time I worked at a probably haunted hotel and some creepy thing my daughter's done. So look forward to that in the future.
Cool.
Thanks for the pod. It's the best. Y'all are hilarious. And stay spooky.
Wow.
Wait, you're a father. Did your kid ever did anything? Did he ever do creepy stuff?
Does your kid ever did anything?
My kid has done nothing.
Thank God.
He's applying to colleges now, and we're going through what he has to put down what he's done. He does nothing. So we have
Thank
to
God.
make it all up.
Thank
No, he
God.
makes his own board games. He's actually really
That's right.
That's
he's a clever, fun kid. But no, he's not. I don't have a psychic connection with him like that.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you
I don't
haven't
think I have any
needed.
of that.
You haven't really needed one, right?
Thank God. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that made me think of the swimming in the ocean. I was like, for some reason, I think because of your story, I thought it was at night immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, literally nothing
No.
could scare me more than a night
Oh,
ocean swim.
I almost died that way in Montauk.
Whoa.
Long ago when I was in my way back in my early 30s, I was out in Montauk with one of my buddies who experienced the little
Yeah.
kid in the graveyard saying, "Mommy, help me." We got caught in an undertow, but the weirdest part is he was used to it because he was used to Montauk, but I was visiting him. And I just thought, well, it's taken me a while to swim back to the beach.
Oh,
I had no idea.
God.
And then he was closer to the shoreline than I was, and he went, and I'm not even thinking, but I'm like, well, it's taking a while, whatever. And then he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna call for help." And I go, "What? Why?" And he's like, "We can't get back in." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Look at the
Whoa.
lifeguard station." And I hadn't looked. And it was like a little house on the beach.
Yeah.
And it was a dot in the distance. And we were about to get swept beyond cliffs. And then no one would have seen us.
Right.
So I said, "Yeah, okay, get help."
Yeah,
And then so
yeah.
he because we're guys, he didn't want to yell help like this little girl did from the grave. So he was just waving to them. like he was saying hi. And then you can see like this little pink dot jump off the house, the porch of the house, and dive in the water. And he's coming to me because I'm further out. And there's all these horrible waves. There had been a hurricane, so the undertow was extra
God.
strong and the waves were bad. And Montauk is where the inspiration for Jaws came from.
Yeah.
So, and I'd been there, I visited him over the years, some summers, and I've been there once or twice where they have to blow the whistle because a fin was coming in because a shark was sick. So they get everyone out of the water. So
Sick
I
shark.
was aware of that. So I'm starting to have that panic. And then I'm
Oh.
having the panic that I didn't realize until later. That is the normal panic of a drowning person, which is when, how they say when you go to save someone who's drowning, you have to protect yourself first because they're uncontrollable.
Oh.
I totally get that now because I was like, I'm going to sink like a stone if I have to keep swimming. This guy's taking forever to get to me. What am I going to do? He doesn't have a boat. I don't see him carrying anything. I'm bigger than he is. He's a teenager. I'm going to carve out his body and make a boat out of him. Like you start having these thoughts.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? And just as he was getting to me, I was literally about to just grab his face because I was like, I'm going to go down because I'm so tired. And right when I did that, he pulled up a yellow rope that was tied in like a little noose. And he went, "Grab this," because he was so out of breath. And
Oh
I
my
grabbed it, and then he
God.
waved, and then there were like 4 dots on the beach that were the other lifeguards, and they pulled the rope. But I didn't see that he had the rope when he jumped in the water. And so I get pulled, and then we go to my buddy who's closer, and he goes, grab the rope, and he grabs the rope, and then they pulled us in. And then the best part was when we got up to the beach, they were pulling us so fast that our shorts were coming off. And when I was able to finally stand, I was able to yank my shorts up, and he and I both did that move where you're sucking your belly, and we're like, we got this. Because there was like a crowd, because everyone was like, what the hell's going on? And we thanked the kids and everything. We went back to our blanket, and I went, do we tip them? Like, they just saved our lives. Like, it's the weirdest feeling.
Yes.
What do you do when someone saves your life? And he was like, they do this all the time, dude. We're not tipping them. That would be embarrassing. But yeah, that's a terrifying undertows. We just lost the Cosby kid to an undertow.
Yeah.
What's his face?
Yes.
He went
Yeah.
out to save his kid, and he got caught in it, and the kid got back, but then he got caught in it, and he drowned.
That's
They're
so
like,
scary. I mean,
they're terrifying.
No wonder why Mike's mom, like, if a mother's intuition can tune in, that is a
Yes.
real moment of danger.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not Mike's grandmother. Sorry, yeah, that like for the uncle.
Right.
That's
But
so
he said
scary.
he was saying that she just had a sense, right?
Yeah.
She didn't like
Yeah.
see a spectral vision of him or anything.
No.
I'd be interested if there was any of that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but even just like kind of like something's wrong, like,
Yeah.
from miles away, something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so scary. Ugh.
I wish I had that kind of like ESP or like
Woo,
The
do you
problem
genetic
really?
Yeah.
The problem is it could, like, sometimes you're like, am I psychic or am I anxious?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because we've had people on who like have premonitions and stuff, and where
Oh,
it
wow.
is just like, how do you know if it's a premonition or just a dream? Like, how do
Yeah.
you know? And
or
they're
if
like,
it's
sometimes I don't.
yeah, like what if it's just your fear and not,
right.
Right.
a real thing that's going to happen. So
Right.
that would always be the
Again,
hard
it's
thing.
again, it can be the 90% of the brain that we don't understand that's just fucking with you. Like, I
Yep.
often think about that with people who hear voices. Is it just a glitch in your brain? Because obviously, if you've got schizophrenia or something like that, it is a glitch in your brain
Yeah.
that does something that would just rewire the normal voices you would hear in your head, but have learned to ignore. But it now sounds different, or it's a little louder, or it's coming in a different way. Then it
Yeah.
sounds like, oh, okay, the voices are telling me to do this. But the whole time, obviously, it's your brain. It's not.
Also,
Back to Son of Sam, he claimed he would hear his dog
Oh,
telling him
right.
to do these murders. But he didn't see the dog speaking to him. He always described it as, I heard the dog in my head. But
Right.
that's, that could be a brain thing.
also,
Yeah.
I've recently heard of, because I just didn't know about that. There's types of OCD that the intrusive thoughts aren't just like something bad will happen, but it'll be like more intense, and it's like, I mean, not to say that that's what it is, but like the overlapping symptoms of all these, or even comorbidities that happen
Yeah.
in these things, where it's just like your brain's just an organ that's trying to process all the time. It's just an organ that's doing its business, right? But just like any other organ, it can have issues functioning. And so
Right.
it's like, like maybe that's like, the schizophrenia is just like, for me, it would be like the bad thing that I don't say. And it's like, for someone else, it's like, they think that it's another voice. And I'm like, no, that's Marcy.
Right.
Marcy being bad right now.
Yeah,
But for
yeah.
them, it's someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wild. The brain. The brain.
Brain.
The brain.
Brain is insane.
The more we
Brain.
learn about how we live, function, how societies work, the information is terrifying. I can understand why people don't want to be educated.
Yeah, I know.
Scary.
Ignorance is bliss. It's so true.
Ignorance is
Absolutely.
bliss.
I had a buddy
Absolutely.
who I had a buddy once who was anxious about everything, and another buddy of mine said, "You know what your problem is? You read."
I
I was like, "Yeah, he's he's not
Hey.
wrong. He
I-
reads a
Right.
lot. This guy reads a lot." And
I
it's
feel that.
it's very difficult, like you get something in your head, it's not going to go away. It could possibly fester and create other anxieties within you.
Yeah.
So don't read, anybody
Yeah.
who's
So
listening.
stop reading.
Yeah.
Stop reading, kids.
This has been so much fun.
Oh my God, you guys are
John,
awesome.
thank you. This
So
is
much
such
fun.
a blast.
Thank you. I had so much fun. Thank you.
Ah.
It was great. I
Where
love your podcast.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Well, aside from whenever Kevin is released, and I should say that John's not only a writer, but he's also the voice director. So everything you hear
Cool.
will have been touched by John in many ways, and so many times.
Yes.
Um,
for good or for bad. Yeah.
I'm positive good.
It was a
but-
great
for good.
experience. So hopefully it
Ah.
translates.
What a dream.
Yeah.
But where can people find your work?
So I'm pretty limited on social media. Speaking of ghosts, I have the ghosts of past accounts that I refuse to take down
Yes.
because I like that they're taking up the bandwidth of some of these platforms that I hate and have abandoned. The only one that I kind of am on with any regularity is Instagram, and my handle is the title of my web comic, which is A Fistful of Babies.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Check it out.
So check it out. I love doing comics, and I love comics, and I follow a lot of cartoonists and stuff. So
Cool.
if you're a cartoonist, check me out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had so much fun, guys. You're so
Thank you for
awesome.
being
And
on.
Thank
I
you
miss
for
you both too. being
I
in New
know.
York,
It's good
so
to see you.
Hopefully
great
we'll
to
see
see
each
you.
other soon
Yes.
enough. All right.
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome to A Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm Betsy Sidaro.
And I'm Marcy Jarrow. This is a podcast where comedians tell us their paranormal experiences, and we listen to yours as well.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of these paranormal experiences that you want to share with us, please email it to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Now get cozy.
And prepare yourself to be scared silly.
This is a Funny Feeling Podcast.